Got it.
What's up, Chicago Tough sports fans? It's Anthony and Paul Hitman here,
Yo.
and we are going to do our bi-weekly wrestling review that we do. We try to do it weekly, but it ends up bi-weekly or every third week or some shit.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, okay, you sure you want me to go first?
Absolutely. Go.
Okay. Monday Night Raw. Actually, the last 2 weeks have been pretty decent, I will say. Excuse me. I'm sorry if I start leaning to the side. I've still got that little back thing going.
No, it's all good.
I'm trying to sit up straight, Yeah, last week was good, but this week was, the opening, what was it, like a tag team Royal Rumble kind of thing?
Yeah.
I loved how the Viking Raiders won that.
That's one of my positives. I'll talk about that when we get
to it. Yes. I enjoyed that. What other match was there? There was the Kofi Kingston. Who did he wrestle?
Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle. There you go. Kofi Kingston and Riddle. And I kind of like the whole Randy Orton and Riddle things like falling apart. I'm enjoying that. I'm sure by Hell in a Cell, Orton's going to RKO him, and that's going to be it. I'm glad they're not like taking this anywhere. It was just kind of like a shock and awe thing for the fans.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. The Charlotte Flair match, the tag team with Rhea Ripley against Asuka and Nikki Cross.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I can't fucking stand her. Nikki Cross? Yeah, I don't like her. And I'm upset that your theory about her isn't going to go through. That she was going to end up being Sister Abigail or Lily Dool or whatever.
Yeah, I have another theory. I have something that I'm kind of upset about when it comes to that. I will get to that a little later.
Okay. I enjoyed the contract signing. I mean, that was pretty cool. The one thing I didn't like about it is when he cut the table in half with the sword. I thought that was kind of silly and ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the Jeff Hardy match was good. Yeah, the Jeff Hardy match was good. I'm glad that he won. I'm glad he didn't lose. Which brings
Are you in a Rock shirt?
What's up?
Are you in a Rock shirt?
Yeah, it's the one I wore today.
I had that same shirt. I should have worn mine too.
I swear, when we get Scott on one of these, we have to wear our Roman Reigns shirts.
Oh yeah, we should.
But anyways, now on to that, what they call that piece of shit main event that they had. I would have preferred the contract signing to be the main event. The Charlotte Flair match with Rhea Ripley to be the main event.
Mm-hmm.
No, what do? They continue to pursue this stupid fucking Lily Doll thing with Alexa Bliss. But hey, she got off the fucking swing this time. She actually stood up and she actually threw a punch.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that counts as wrestling to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shayna Baszler, she's supposed to be hardcore, whatever. I could have thought of some different words like, you're just a doll. And the way she says doll, it's like doll. It's fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how they're using Shayna Baszler. She's better than this.
Mm-hmm.
There's better opportunities for her. I'm sure there are. But no, they're going to put her in the ring with Alexa Bliss sitting on a swing set with that stupid fucking doll. And then what really annoyed me is the creative team really showed their lack of creativity. This doll's supposed to be alive, right? So Baszler snatches the doll, does that stupid apology thing, throws it down, and then steps on it. Like stomps on the fucking thing, right? Now, when you step on something that's alive, what happens? When you really stomp on something with life, what happens? It bleeds, right? Now, if they had any kind of creativity, they would have had like some blood or something. It would have been easier to take in. It would have been easier to watch.
Okay.
Or that was the time for pyro right there. When she snatched the doll and she's talking trash to the doll, that's when the pyro comes up. Not 5 minutes after the fact when Shayna Baszler is walking up the ramp and then she gets like Kane pyro that Kane would get. But here's the best part. She goes to the backstage, which I hate when they do in wrestling. They take things backstage. Unless they're cutting like a promo. But when they take the ring to backstage, I can't stand it, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking through the backstage area. And what was the pay-per-view where shit was falling from the ceiling with Randy Orton when him and Alexa were walking around the ring? What pay-per-view was that?
I can't remember. I know you're talking about,
So that was happening again with Shayna.
And that was before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So I think it was like 2 weeks before 2 weeks on Raw before WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
I think. So she's supposed to be this hardcore badass chick, but they have her running away from a doll with the lights flickering, saying, "It's just a doll. I'm not scared." But she's scared. She's terrified. She's frantic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show her in the mirror. She runs into a room. She's like, "All right, I got this." And she pushes a fucking chair in front of the door and then puts another one on top. Turns around, sees the doll in the mirror, turns around, the doll's gone. Turns around, the doll's back in the mirror. And then she kicks the mirror. This whole gimmick is freaking garbage now. It's just done, man. If they don't know what to do with Alexa Bliss, let her go. Let her go. They should have fired her. I mean, they fired Braun Strowman and Aleister Black, and they had a plan for Aleister, it seemed like. But they continue to pursue this bullshit with Alexa Bliss. Like what? I was looking online before you came on, and they have no plan for this. They said this Shayna Baszler thing, it's not going anywhere. It just pisses me off, man. It's Shayna Baszler is so good, and Alexa Bliss is a gimmick and a possible great story, and they continue just to screw it and ruin it and do stupid shit, like with this stupid doll, man. I can't get over this doll. Or I'm sorry, the doll. You know, it's just a doll. It's like she's the female Bray Wyatt, man. It's like, okay, she's doing something good, you know. Let's fucking destroy the storyline. I can't. I'm so pissed, man. And I remember the video we did, the recording we did, and I said I've never been pissed off at a wrestling turnout, which was WrestleMania with The Fiend. And I'm starting to get so invested in this shit. This actually pissed me off, man, when I saw that. And then it was just over. I mean, when the lights went out and come back on, at least have Alexa Bliss there. You know, with the black shit coming down, like at WrestleMania with The Fiend. At least have that, not that stupid doll, which, by the way, is unscarred after Shayna Baszler, like, stomped the shit out of it in the ring. If it's supposed to be alive, give it features that it's alive. You know, I stomp on it, have some blood coming out. Or the lights go off and come back on, Alexa Bliss is there with the black sludge again. So, I don't know. You tell me what you think. Maybe I'm fucking stupid. I don't know.
No, you're not. I actually have the same thoughts as you, so I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you.
It's bad.
You know, as far as Monday Night Raw, man, dude, I totally agree with you. I thought it was a decent show. Things that I love. There's one thing I truly loved about. There's one segment I truly loved about Raw, which was the backstage segment between Kofi and Becky. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
But a simple fact that there was some truth in what MVP was spewing to Kofi. And there's one thing that a black man should never call or tell another black man he's doing because it's highly offensive. He told that dude he's been shucking and jiving.
Oh God.
You never do that. And
Okay.
That's why Kofi got pissed. because in certain circles, shucking and jiving, kind of, it's be like a sellout or something like that.
Yeah.
In my eyes. So that dude basically called him a sellout. He won the title, and then he's now he's all about you know smiling and stuff like that. Where you got MVP and Lashley, they're all about championship and business and making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that stuff, I truly enjoy. I will say this: if they ever do a Brock versus Lashley match, the promos itself between Heyman and MVP, that sells the match within itself.
Yep. It would be almost identical because he's the Black Paul Heyman
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Lashley's the Black Lesnar. That's all.
yeah, yeah. So that was one good thing. The the tag team match, the women's tag team match, I was kind of on a fence about because I'm struggling with Rhea Ripley, and not because I think she's bad. I think she's excellent. It's just the fact that I'm trying to figure out how I should view her in the eyes of a fan.
Yeah.
I know how I view Charlotte. I view Charlotte as being entitled. I view Charlotte as being a heel.
Yep.
I don't know how I should view Rhea. Is she a heel? Is she a face? Is she in between? I don't know. But I also felt like Asuka and Nikki were just placeholders to build on the feud between Charlotte and Rhea.
Oh, absolutely.
And I truly hope that Rhea holds on to the title. Truly hope so.
Yeah.
I'm praying about that.
I want to see her do more.
Right. I have no problem with her gimmick. I know there was people saying that they had a problem with her gimmick look. She's coming across, wearing the dark makeup, and there's probably a segment of the population or the fan base that they're trying to appeal to. Whatever. That doesn't bother me. I was happy to see Jeff Hardy get a win. Awesome. I was happy to see the Viking Raiders. I think the Viking Raiders are probably the most underrated tag team in the WWE. They're so entertaining. They're so good. The stuff that they did with the Street Profits last year, some of the funniest stuff that they've done in a while. The stuff with Lashley and McIntyre, yeah. I mean, I don't the sword thing. All right, whatever. But it was okay. It was decent. And then once again, the Kofi and Riddle match. Hey, that's good stuff too. I was kind of hoping, to be perfectly honest with you. I know I said I'm happy that the Viking Raiders won. It wouldn't have shocked me if Riddle and Orton won, and then they put the titles on Riddle and Orton to kind of string that storyline along so they can have their match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I actually would have been okay with that. It wouldn't have bothered me. It's not the first time that WWE has done that. Put the tag team titles on two guys that are total opposites, and then it end up viewing. Hell, they did it with Batista and Cena. They did it with they did it with Stone Cold and Undertaker. They're not above from doing that, so that doesn't bother me. Then we get to the last segment. I actually thought about you during this segment. I thought about you when Alexa Bliss got up and threw a punch.
Yep.
I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
Now, Alexa Bliss got outside the ring, and she came back in. Well, before that, there was the stop on the on
the
Lily. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, I get your point about that. Here's where I would have taken. Before that segment started, who did you have the segment with? You had Shayna and Nia. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's kind of well known that one of Alexa Bliss's off-screen best friends is Nia Jax. You could have had Nia Jax attack Shayna Baszler when she locked herself in the locker room. That would have been a better way to go off.
Yeah, that probably would have been better what they gave us, to be honest.
Oh, sure, sure. I'm just thinking about, as like you said, just better like what they gave us. But now you can, you know, get Shayna off of television or whatever how you want to get her to repackage her. But now you have this just situation where maybe Alexa plays some mind control on Nia, make Nia into this unstoppable monster on the women's side, and have Alexa Bliss be the manager. There's ways that they could have done it, but they didn't do it. They're stuck in this creative dumbness.
Yeah,
and,
stupidity.
and, and,
That's what it's
and
stupidity.
it is. It kind of feeds into like my larger point about how uh, the WWE itself, and you and I talked about this, how the talent is there. They just don't have the creative. Creative is not creative enough to do anything with these people,
No,
and it shouldn't be that way because when you're top of the food chain, when you're the WWE, you should be able to bring in guys that should be able to do stuff with creative.
yeah,
And I don't know if these people that are in creative are scared of Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon is saying, "Oh, this is such good shit, let's do it," and then all of a sudden it's like, "Well, the boss said this is funny. What we're going to do? We can't challenge the boss." Because I don't know how many times I've seen, written online where Vince McMahon has rewritten Raw, 15 minutes before Raw's even started.
it's like, why is he such a dick? Why won't I don't know? Maybe I wouldn't have been as pissed if that wasn't the main event. Maybe that should have been the first segment.
Well, that thing should have been, I don't know, probably in maybe the top of the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
usually
mean,
what, like
yeah,
three, maybe four matches in.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But that shouldn't have been what you closed out on. I mean, what you closed out on should have been the contract signing, or you know,
the
or
tag
the
team
women's,
rumble, the
yeah,
tag team Royal Rumble. That should have been. I would have loved that.
or or Riddle and Kofi should have main evented. That's fine. Then whatever. That's fine. But Monday Night Raw is, like I told you before, a variety show.
Oh,
But I will say this, and this goes back to stuff that I've been thinking about. Hasn't Monday Night Raw and pro wrestling in general, isn't that kind of a variety show in a way?
yeah, oh yeah, all around.
Okay. And the only reason why I brought this up is because I go back to our conversation when they had the zombies at Backlash, right?
Yes,
And I know you hated it. There was other people that hated it. I was like, whatever about it.
yeah,
But it's not the first time that the WWE has used a movie to get the point across.
yeah.
I just watched a Raw from 2001 where the top movie in that time frame was Planet of the Apes.
Oh boy,
During a Chris Jericho and Stephanie McMahon segment, two guys dressed up as apes comes down to the ring and puts a pie in Stephanie McMahon's face.
nice.
So look,
It's a lucky
this
pie.
is right. This has been going on for a while. It's the fact that the stuff they're doing now is not that entertaining. And it goes back to, let's say, you know, like over 30 years or close to 30 years. I mean, look at the stuff that DX did, right? I mean, you got the press conference where Shawn Michaels was like, I didn't sleep with that woman. I was up all night. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. Or, you have Edge and Lita's live sex celebration.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the highest rated segments of all time is The Rock's "This Is Your Life." It's not like they don't do variety stuff. It's just like now
It's bad.
it's bad, it's lame, and yeah, it's just not funny. and
Like
and that's
I remember you said like everything they do, it's aimed at a certain demographic, a certain group. Like who the fuck does this appeal to? Because I
I
can't
don't know.
figure it out. Because everyone I
I don't
talk
know.
to about this, they don't like it.
Well, it could appeal to like my 14-year-old. It could appeal to a 50-year-old. It could appeal to something other than the hardcore wrestling fan.
It appeals to people other than wrestling fans. Basically.
Yes, it appeals to the casual fan,
Yeah.
which is what Vince wants to do.
I
Because
just want it to end.
he I know I told you before that Vince McMahon hates the term pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm going to back away from that. I don't think he hates the term because I think that that's kind of disrespectful in terms of his father and some of the other some of the other wrestlers that's been brought up in WWF, WWE, or whatever. I just don't believe that he thinks that pro wrestling is marketable to the mainstream.
Mm.
And and I can actually go back to maybe 95, 96, maybe 97, where the top two guys in the company at the time was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart was more of the wrestler, tactician. Shawn Michaels was more of the entertainer.
Yeah.
Who do you think Vince is going to go with?
Shawn.
Exactly, because he's an entertainer.
Entertainer.
Right. And you go back to even to the early part of the 80s with Hogan. You got Hogan who in his earliest part of his career could wrestle. But then you get to when he was Hulkamania, he was a showman. He was the entertainer. It wasn't all about the moves. It was just about him coming out, ripping his shirt off, playing to the crowd,
Yeah.
taking, doing the Hulk up, big boot leg drop, poses at the end.
Yep.
And then if you go even after that with The Rock, you never heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, and people, whoever view this, if I'm wrong about this, let me know. You never heard The Rock say that he is the most electrifying man in pro wrestling. At least I never heard him say that. He's always said, and I could be wrong, that he is the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment.
He never said pro wrestling.
He never said pro wrestling. So this thing with sports entertainment / pro wrestling has been going on for a long period of time.
Okay, but that was good entertainment.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that, when we look at pro wrestling or even Monday Night Raw as a variety show, it's always been a variety show. It's just now it's bad. Well, Monday Night Raw is bad.
Yep.
Everything else under the WWE umbrella is good.
Yeah.
NXT is the best show.
Phenomenal.
SmackDown is good.
Yep.
But when it comes to Monday Night Raw, I don't mind you having a variety show. I truly don't.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is they're a variety show. They're just all over the goddamn place.
Yes.
Maybe they need to just have a couple of avenues to go down, like SmackDown does. A little here, a little there.
Well, you know how you do that? The first thing you do is you cut Raw from 3 to 2 hours.
Yep.
First of all, that makes it an easier watch.
That last hour is rough, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
And
whereas
ended the way they ended it, it wasn't even a match. You didn't even end it with a match.
No, here you can sit up here and you can enter Raws with segments that are better than that. There's been plenty of times in Raws back in the day where they ended it on whether it was I believe they ended Raw with a Stone Cold beer bath or a Kurt Angle milk bath, or when Austin got thrown off a bridge. You can end Raws with stuff like that. Just don't do anything stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like the Alexa Bliss thing.
I want to know, like, who said, okay, this is how we're gonna end the show. This is what we wrote out, and who the hell said, okay, that's cool. Everyone
You know the answer to that.
everyone will love this.
You know the answer to that.
Why is he such a dick? He clearly doesn't give a shit about the fans. He doesn't. Putting garbage out like this is garbage, man. Like, this is the time, like, there have been certain points in time where I stopped watching wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
First that comes to mind, we were by Scott's parents' house, and that's when they first introduced the Spirit Squad. I left Scott's house saying, I am not watching wrestling anymore. That was beyond stupid. I remember watching a couple more. They were on what, Raw? I think Spirit Squad was Raw. I think I watched maybe 2 more episodes, and that was it. That was it. And I'm starting to, like, come up on that fork in the road again. Should I keep watching this shit, or should I just hang with it? Maybe it'll get better. It's like a TV show I watch. I watch Fear the Walking Dead.
Sure.
I hate it. I can't stand it. But I watch it because I'm afraid if I stop, I'm going to miss something good. And that's where I'm at right now with Monday Night Raw.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up specifically Monday Night Raw, because I don't want you to get to a point where you stop watching pro wrestling as a whole because of the badness of Monday Night Raw.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah, don't do that, because there's still other good to great shows out there.
Yeah. Especially
up on our WWE. You know, you're a big AEW fan. Watch that show. You know, TNA is actually halfway decent. NWA, from what I've been told, and you know, it's pretty good. Then you got, you know, like I said, NXT and SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know, I will say this about Monday Night Raw. If you're going to not watch it, fine. That's your prerogative. But you can also go back and just watch the highlights.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to invest a full 3 hours of your time to watch it.
See, I want to invest that time because I enjoy wrestling. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy reading about it. But
they have to give you a reason to care. Monday Night Raw has to give you a reason to care.
Like, watching highlights, for me personally, that's just lazy. I have to do that with Sox games. A lot of the Sox recordings we do, I get my info from highlights because I don't have the time to watch all the games.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I'm just saying, like, for an easier view, or, you know, DVR it and just go through the stuff that you want to go through and whatever. But I do think, and this is, once again, my own personal opinion, or at least my hope, is that things will change come the middle of July.
Oh, they better.
When they actually go back in front of fans. But I also will give them until SummerSlam as a reset. Because normally WrestleMania resets everything.
Yeah.
I'm thinking SummerSlam is going to reset a lot of stuff, because they would have had, I don't know, 4 weeks on the road, then SummerSlam, then reset. I'm going to give them, it's going to be hard to do, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, at least up until, I don't know, a little bit after SummerSlam, just to see where they are. Monday Night Raw. Because I hope that they don't pull the same kind of creative stuff that they're doing now with the live feeds, because they will boo.
They can't. They won't be able to get away with it.
No.
And to go back to what you said about reset, shouldn't that have been WrestleMania? They had fans at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but there were no fans. Usually, that the Raw after WrestleMania is usually the biggest Raw of the year,
Yeah.
technically, because that's the start of a new season.
Yeah.
There's no fans there, so there's nothing there to bring out new people. Usually after WrestleMania, you bring out new storylines and new people who just signed, but there was nothing there. So that's why I'm thinking that SummerSlam will be quote unquote the reset of this because of fans coming back in July, and then you have SummerSlam, and then now you're moving forward to what is basically normal now.
Yeah. It's
That's my hope. I could be wrong.
It makes sense.
I'm hoping that they don't pull the same crap with fans in because you're going to get a boring chant. You're going to get this shit sucks. You're going to get a CM Punk chant, and people are just not going to like it.
Like ECW, where everyone started throwing the chairs in the ring.
Well, you probably no. You're going to get that. You're going to get a beach ball being thrown around, which is disrespectful to the talent.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get an air horn.
Oh God. It's
so, dude.
I like Alexa Bliss. I just want them to let her do something. It's like she's not even acting scary anymore. She's giggling and smiling and jumping around and making stupid faces.
Well, it went from being legit to being
stupid.
That's basically what it is right now.
And that's the nicest way I'm going to put it.
I get it. I'm saying it's you say stupid, I say goofy. I think both of them are correct terms. Because goofy at some point could be stupid. Yeah. So I mean, I get it. Like I said, I totally agree. I was struggling. I was happy with this segment up until Shayna Baszler went into the back, and then you start seeing the doll. I would have preferred Shayna Baszler get laid out by Nia Jax because that's how I thought it was going. It's based off the conversations that Shayna Baszler and Nia were having. But that's just me. Now, I will say this. You said that Shayna should be a badass. I agree, she should be a badass. But you never know what that badass might be afraid of.
Okay. Again, when the lights come back on, Alexa Bliss should be there and lay her out.
I agree with you. I agree. When the lights came back on, you shouldn't have saw Lily. You should have saw Nia Jax in some sort of Lily type costume next to Alexa Bliss.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see. I can't agree with you on the Nia Jax because I don't like Nia Jax. I don't want.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's
hard for me to get on board with that.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just throwing it out there as something different for her to do. Different. And I think storyline wise, especially with the stuff that was going on with the tag team and them, losing the titles because of Alexa Bliss's interference when she was doing the fire and stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that stuff, kind of made sense. And, I was like, all right, well, if they did it that way, cool. But I agree with you. They need to find a different avenue for Alexa Bliss. Yep. But I would like to know how much creative control Alexa Bliss has in what she does. Maybe she's on board with this. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know that fat paycheck. Of course,
I'm sure. But I'm also thinking that Vince is loving it. I really don't know where this is leading. I had an idea maybe.
Yeah.
When you and I talked before about this.
Yeah.
But it's not going in the way that I think, and now it's kind of dumb.
Like when Sonya Deville and who's the other guy?
Adam Pierce.
Adam Pierce, when they told Nikki Cross, tag team partner of her choosing, I was like, oh my God, Hitman was right. She's gonna say, and then when they asked her who's it gonna be, she's like, someone I'm very close with, and someone I've worked with many times. I thought she was gonna say Alexa Bliss. And then when it was Asuka, I was like, damn it, I kind of wanted Hitman to be right.
Yeah, no, look, trust me, I wanted to be right too, but you know, creative wise, their Monday Night Raw isn't there. There's certain things that they get right or they do decently on Monday Night Raw, but overall, as a 3 hour show, no, no. I mean, it's it's disappointing because Monday Night Raw has been the flagship show for that company for over 25 years.
It's like that
And
WrestleMania match when they had her come out of the Jack in the Box. They had like this great thing, and then
yeah,
he smashed it. He went from this possessed, demonic little girl with black sludge just bleeding out of her face to an idiot holding a doll, laughing and giggling, and it's just stupid. It's
yeah.
like,
See,
why didn't you keep going with? She didn't need the Fiend to be there with her. They could have kept going with it. They could have.
see, you know what? You know what's funny about that, Tony? And I actually, at one point, was like, all right, Alexa figured out how to control the Fiend's powers to a point where she can get rid of the Fiend herself.
Yeah.
In which I'm like, okay, that's a good storyline because you actually see this within the movies. Look at the Sith in Star Wars.
Yep.
That's basically what a Sith does. It trains the Sith Lord trains their whatever this not Padawans because Padawans is a Jedi apprentice, yes. To in the ways of the dark side, and then that person gets strong enough, and they kill their master.
I just realized something.
What's that?
We're really big fucking nerds. We went from talking about fake fighting and wrestling to Star Wars like that.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean,
And you,
I got on board with that because that kind of made sense.
yeah,
And then we talk about Alexa and getting these powers, and then she brought in a new character, Lily, and then I was like, oh man, like this could be good because maybe she can do some mind control, and now it's not going the way we as fans wanted to go, and it's getting a little irritating. And I'm not the one that gets irritable when it comes to wrestling because I look at it a little differently.
yeah.
But when I'm getting irritated with stuff, that's not exactly a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's just sad because Monday Night Raw used to do so many good things. Even some of the bad things were kind of like cringeworthy, but you were kind of like laughing, like hee hee hee.
Yeah.
And I mean, just look at the Katie Vick storyline. That's so cringeworthy.
Which one?
Like Katie Vick when Triple H is banging the dead corpse in the casket.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, you might have to go ahead and YouTube that and watch that.
That sounds like something I should know.
Yes, you should
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kane and Triple H had a storyline back in the day that was kind of cringeworthy, and and Triple H was basically banging a dead corpse
Oh, God.
in a casket. Cringeworthy.
I'm sure I'll remember it once I see it.
Yeah, but I mean, you always had cringeworthy storylines or storylines that were kind of real that kind of push the boundaries. They don't push the boundaries of anything that's good. They push the boundaries to test the patience of their fans.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Well, if testing patience of the fans is his goal, he's doing it. He's doing it with this crap.
But I'm also thinking that he wants to take this company to be a global empire. He wants to make WWE Disney.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
That's which is why he's appealing to every kind of market.
Yeah.
That's why you're starting to see, a bunch of, yeah, Mansoor from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, he's terrible.
You got
That's the one match I didn't. Him and Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the matches that him and Daniel Bryan had were really good, but I can't get on board with Mansoor just yet. I know that what I personally would like to see is some sort of like, you know, Mustafa Ali, yeah, have Ali, have a stable and kind of, but they won't do stuff like that because they don't want to mirror what's going on in the real world.
I don't know if I heard it in like on a YouTube video or from one of you guys. They said it said majority of wrestling fans the reason they become a fan of a certain wrestler, it's visual first, like their gimmick, their entrance. And that's how it is for me. That's why I like Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family thing.
Yeah, sure.
I love that kind of stuff, man. That's why
Yeah,
when they started promoting that whole Wyatt family thing in the swamp and just sitting there holding the lantern, it's that creepy, like Texas chainsaw kind of stuff.
yeah.
And then for whatever reason, I stopped watching wrestling for a while. And I remember Jimmy sent us all a text saying, "Did you guys see the Fiend's entrance or Bray Wyatt's new entrance?" And I saw that, and I went nuts, man. The
Yeah,
lantern with the the skin
yeah.
face of Bray Wyatt. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I like. That's why I'm so mad that they didn't keep going with the Alexa Bliss thing as Sister Abigail, because I loved it. And one of my favorite Hollywood makeup artists has been involved in all it. Tom Savini.
Yeah.
He made the mask, the lantern. He did the whole black sludge thing for Alexa Bliss. He did it all, and then they completely abandoned all of it. Now I understand why Bray Wyatt's gone right now, and I
Sure.
respect that.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
The
Right.
dude's like really depressed that his friend's gone.
Right.
I get it, but they still could have. This might sound terrible. They could have used that to build a story with Alexa Bliss. And she's just there holding everything down, just dominating everything until the Fiend returns for whatever reason why he's gone, whatever kind of story they could come up with.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that me as a fan, one of the reasons why I was a fan of the Undertaker because of his entrance, the fan of Triple H because of his entrance,
Yeah.
and The Rock, the fan of his entrance, and well, the things like that. I mean, it is visual, and then we get to the ring stuff, and then we get to the promo stuff. You get to, or I mean, what's the most iconic sound in pro wrestling? It's either the gong or the shattering of the glass.
Stone Cold, yep. For me, it's Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's you never really saw Austin really do anything. That was outside of the beer truck, but that fit him because he's a guy that drinks beer.
Yeah.
That fit him. And Austin was all about doing stuff that made sense and made money. But the problem is that there's nobody there that can challenge Vince on the Raw side. I'm wondering what if Randy Orton would say to Vince, or is Randy Orton just kind of like, I've been here for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to call him comfortable, but is he shouldn't be okay with what's going on. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's a third generation superstar, multi-time world champion, future Hall of Famer. Yeah, who should be in the title picture.
Yeah. I mean, as long as that whole situation with Riddle ends by the end of Hell in a Cell, I'll give him to the end of SummerSlam. As long as it's done, by SummerSlam, it'll be okay. If they start like trying to do something with this, then I
Well,
put right in there with the Alexa Bliss situation.
well, they already did something with it. They already did something with it. They're tag teaming. Randy Orton's coming out to the ring to help Riddle. They're doing something with it. Like we talked earlier, it wouldn't have shocked me if somehow or another they put the tag titles on Riddle and Orton, and that's the further storyline. And then Orton RKO's him out of nowhere, have him lose the titles, because that's something that they would do.
I think that's going to happen at Hell in a Cell.
Sure.
I think this whole tag team thing, I think it ends at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it could be the case. I would stretch it out more to SummerSlam just so you can get, because you've got more legs to this. But I don't think you can, do it more after that. I just, like I said, I would like to know what some of these top wrestlers like a Orton or a Charlotte are thinking right now when it comes to creative, because those guys deserve so much better than what they're getting.
Top treatment, especially Orton.
And yeah, and I would love to why, and it shouldn't be that way, because right now they're in the same city with the Thunderdome, so it should be the same writers for this stuff. But I guess because since Vince is not as hands-on with SmackDown as he is with Raw, that's I don't know. It's I'm not going to sit up and go as far as you did say that Vince hates the fans. I think Vince loves the fans.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if he hated the fans, he wouldn't have came out and thanked them before WrestleMania. I think that he just
doesn't
tries
respect
to.
the fans. I'll say that. He doesn't respect the fans. He doesn't respect the true, honest WWE fans. The ones who have been there throughout this whole ride.
Sure. I will give you that. I think there's another layer to this. I think that there's a point of he's saying that, and this is just me speculating, that he wants to branch out into this global media conglomerate of WWE, where he's expanding in Saudi Arabia, expanding in India, expanding a little bit more in Canada, do some South America stuff, all these continents and countries and things like that, to a point where maybe he needs to kind of refocus everything on what made his company popular between Canada and the United States.
Yeah. That's fine. I respect that. Just don't put garbage out.
And that I agree too. I mean, you can sit up here and do the branding. That's fine.
Yeah.
But your variety show better be better.
Yep.
You better be able to
cut it down. Cut it down.
Well, once you cut it to 2 hours, guess what? Some of that riffraff is gone.
Yep.
And then it's bam, 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 bam.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's all I have.
That's all I got.
I just had to. I wasn't going to do this tonight, but I said the hell with it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that, because it was something that I've been kind of thinking about, and like I said, even with the whole variety show stuff, and wrestling for me has always been a variety show. It's just how funny you think it is, and right now the stuff that we're getting right now on Raw isn't funny.
Yeah. All right then.
So we're
you don't
good.
have nothing else?
I'm good.
Well, until next time.
Yep.
Remember, let me in.
Nice.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.